Grayson Report. Happy Saturday. How's everyone doing? What is up? Carol, Matthew, Bernadette, Heather, whatever. Dusty, D Nice. Hold on, I was at the end. Tammy, Lisa Boo. Sorry about that, guys. Brandon, Dusty, D Nice, thank you for that super chat. Come on, ride the train. Hey, ride it. Support my sis from Another Miss with PayPal or Cash App. Thank you, D Nice. Hearts for D Nice, guys. As I go down, sorry, guys. I think I got everybody. Wendy, what's up? Tyrana, how's it going? How's everyone's weekend going while we wait for people to trickle in this cord is driving me nuts. There. Because it's like all Project Metal music. Hey up, how's it going? How's everyone's weekend going? If you guys have Max, Beetlejuice, Electric Boogaloo is now on Max. Think today that Superman documentary should be there as well on Max. I know that's not spooky, but it's something I was looking forward to. It looks really good. I still haven't watched any of them. They're on my list. Superman, the Christopher Reeve story is also on Max. Alien Romulus on Hulu for anyone that has it. Terrifier 3 is returning to theaters for one day. Also, too, I think it's coming on digital December 17th, if I'm not mistaken. Or not digital, like full box set type of thing, if I'm not mistaken. Gunner Girl, what's up? So while we wait for a few more people to trickle in, as I said, Terrifier 3 is returning to theaters. So if you guys missed it, I'm more of a sit on the couch type of gal, watching movies. I don't know, it's just more intimate. You can pause it if you have to use a restroom type of thing. You could curl up with a blanket. I just like it better. Merry Christmas. Terrifier 3 is returning to theaters. Damien Leone slasher sequel will have a limited theatrical run starting on Christmas Eve. So if you're like me and you keep it spooky all year round, even trying to make Christmas spooky, this is the way to do it. Following yesterday's news that Damien Leone slasher sequel Terrifier 3 was returning to UK and Irish cinemas, Cineverse and Bloody Disgusting have announced that the festive Bloodbath will also be released in U.S. theaters to celebrate the Christmas theater. And Lisa Boo, thank you for being a member of the Wolf Pack for 20 months. Love this community. Hit that like hearts for Lisa Boo. Thank you, Lisa Boo, for that support. In partnership with Iconic Events, releasing Terrifier 3 will return to theaters for a limited run starting on Christmas Eve and including Christmas Day, so you could do a Nosferatu. I forgot that. Nosferatu is releasing on Christmas Day. Double bill with Art the Clown himself. Officially the highest grossing unrated movie of all time, Terrifier 3 slashed its way across the global box office earlier this year following its October release, scaring up a huge $88 million off a $2 million budget. Starring David Howard Thornton as Art the Clown and Lauren Lavera as final girl Sienna Shaw, Terrifier 3 also saw Samantha Scafati and Elliot Fulham returning as Victoria Hayes and Sienna's little brother Jonathan, respectively. Terrifier 3 also boasted appearances from VFX legend Tom Savini, Jason Patrick, The Lost Boys, Antonella Rose, Fear the Walking Dead, Chris Fox, Little Bites, Clint Howard, Ice Cream Man, John Abrams, House of Wax, and Daniel Roebuck, Final Destination as Santa Claus. So if you guys missed out on Terrifier 3, it is on, I think it's on digital now as well. On VOD, if you want to do it that way, but you could check it out in theaters. I have not seen it yet, and I've been looking forward to it, but I'm waiting for it to, come on a regular streaming service like Netflix or HBO, but because I heard that it's coming on Screenbox, and I don't have Screenbox because it's from Cineverse, and Cineverse does Screenbox. It is on VOD for $24.99, or you can rent it for $20, but I don't see the point of renting a digital copy. I guess for 2 days it's $20, and the horror film will be released on DVD, Blu-ray, and 4K Ultra HD on December 17th. For those that are wondering. Shamanistic Unicorn Tam, what is up? And I also forgot to mention Nosferatu because I was seeing a bunch of ads for that too. I forgot that comes out on Christmas. Then we have Squid Game, Electric Boogaloo coming out after Christmas on December 26th on Netflix. We also have 28 Years Later coming out next year. I was going to say later next year. They did finally release the official poster. I've been looking forward to this. The 28 days later and 28 weeks later. I think I saw the second movie first. That brought me into zombies. I never really liked zombies. I know we have, Night of the Living Dead. But I could never get into zombies until 28 weeks later or 28 days later. I saw them both, but I saw one of them first. I think I saw the second one first. So we now have an official poster for 28 years later. Danny Boyle is back in the director's chair for Sony's 28 Years Later, long-awaited sequel to 28 Days Later that is intended to kick off a brand new trilogy of infection movies. Sony released the official poster for 28 Years Later. It's tongue twister today. Check it out below. I think this was yesterday. From what we understand, the first two movies in the 28 Years Later trilogy have already been filmed. Boyle directs the first installment while Nia DaCosta, oh my God, no. Candyman and the Marvels directs the second. Read on for everything we know about the epic franchise experience. The only reason why I said, oh no, because that Candyman, the remake of Candyman, I don't know if you want to consider that a remake. I did not like it. 28 Years Later will be unleashed in theaters on June, because it's like, Freddy Krueger. Nobody can replace Robert Englund. It's like no one could replace Tony Todd. 28 Years Later will be unleashed in theaters on June 20th, 2025 from Sony. So it's going to be a summer movie. The horror movie cast include Jack O'Connell, Amy Winehouse, Back to Black, Jodie Comer, Alone in the Dark, Killing Eve, Aaron Tyler Johnson, Craven the Hunter, Aaron Kellyman, The Green Knight and Willow, and Ralph Fiennes. Ooh, that's kind of cool. The menu. Fiennes recently previewed the plot as followed. Britain is 28 years into the terrible plague of infected people who are violent, rabid humans with a few pockets of uninfected communities, and it centers on a young boy who wants to find a doctor to help his dying mother. He leads his mother through this beautiful northern English terrain, but of course, around them hiding in forests and hills and woods are the infected. But he finds a doctor who is a man we might think is going to be weird and odd, but actually is a force for good. Alex Garland, 28 Days Later, wrote the screenplay for 28 Years Later. Additionally, we've learned Cillian Murphy is executive producing and reportedly returning to star the original movie. It's weird because I did not know that Cillian Murphy was in the other, because he looks so different now compared to when he was in that movie. The original movie in 2002 starred Cillian Murphy and was written by Alex Garland and directed by Danny Boyle. In the smash hit horror film 4 weeks after a mysterious incurable virus spreads throughout the UK, a handful of survivors tried to find sanctuary. So this is the cool poster. It's simple. There's not much. I guess there's not much you could show for that poster, but it's a simple poster, so why not? I like simple. Sometimes it doesn't give away too much. Obviously we know it's about zombies, so anything could go. But I am looking forward to that in the summer. I cannot wait. Shamanistic Europe Town goes, I'm chilling since I dropped off Secret Santa gifts for work. My work is done here, folks. Exchange is Wednesday, but I work remotely, so glad I got it a little early. That's super cool. It's always good when you get ahead on your gifting. I also have some Conjuring House updates. I will get into this after my article, if I can find it. I probably didn't even add it to my thing. I do that sometimes. Give me a second, guys. Stupid me forgot to add it to my links. Which happens. And watch now, I can't find it. Oh my God, what happened? It happens. Oh, never mind. I found it. Robot 1138, how's it going? Also, too, guys, if you like Twitch, I do stream simultaneously on Twitch. Bernadette has dropped the link if you guys would like to follow me there as well. Wendy's asking us for the chat, but I'll put it out there. Question for the chat: how many layers you got on? I have actually, it was kind of warm today. It was like 78, I think, was our high. It was nice today for us for December. No, it says 80. It allegedly said it was 81. I mean, it felt like 80. It was nice today, but then now it's starting to cool down. So I've got my jacket and cool. It's California cold. As always, guys, I forgot to mention, thank you, Carol, for reminding me. Emily Parkinson's, how's it going? Nerd Report said it was cold here. It was nice. Inside the house, it's cold, but when you go outside, it's nice. It was nice outside because when I woke up, my house was cold, but when I went outside, I was like, oh, dang. As always, guys, Skeleduck is somewhere in this background. It's a little harder to hide him in this background. If you guys don't know who Skeleduck is, he is pictured in my upper left-hand corner, might be your upper right-hand corner. That is what he looks like. I hide him in the background. This one's kind of hard to hide things in, but hey, I'm working with what I've got. Just remind me by the end of the stream, and I will reveal his location. Be a stoned. How's it going? Carol finds everything. So, today, I'm going to start off, and then we're going to get into some little Conjuring House updates. So, inside the chilling history of biblical demons and the rise of demonology, I am not much of I do believe in demons, but I'm not much of a biblical type of believer. I'm more of a spiritual believer, but I do believe that there's evil spirits and there can be demons. I also believe that people living on earth can also suffer from demons. Christians have long feared the power of biblical demons, but what does the Bible actually say about these evil entities? The field of demonology has been heavily obscured over the years, especially in recent decades amidst satanic panic in America, which we spoke about in a previous stream. In a sense, the study of biblical demons have often been oversimplified as devil worship. In addition, many traditionally non-demonic spirits have been categorized as demons simply because they do not fall within the bounds of Christian belief. Take pagan gods or traditional Native American spirits. But both the Bible and the text Demonology, penned by King James VI and First in 1597, are fairly clear about what demons are: fallen angels and evil spirits. Though the Bible understandably doesn't give as many details about demons as it does angels, demonology and other compilations have attempted to name and describe as many demons as possible. Sometimes they serve as metaphorical representations of the 7 deadly sins. So here's what the Bible has to say about demons and how King James and other writers have tried to categorize these villainous entities. Wendy goes religiously raised, meh. Biblical demons, according to the Old and New Testaments and other ancient religious texts. Pictured here is a depiction of the fallen angel Lucifer, who rebelled against God and was cast out of heaven. If we're to talk about biblical demons, there is no better starting point than the Bible and other ancient religious texts. There are 2 contexts, though, which the creation of evil can be observed: the Adamic and the Enochic. I am probably not saying that correctly. The former views the birth of evil from the perspective of Adam's temptation in the Garden of Eden, described in the Old Testament book of Genesis, and the fall of man, though this doesn't paint the most detailed picture. The Enochic, hopefully I'm saying that correctly, perspective, however, goes into more detail about what led to the creation of biblical demons. The Enochic timeline states that demons emerged due to fallen angels who stood against God's will and wanted to corrupt mankind. Curiously, the book of Enoch is not included in the Bible, but there are numerous references to Enoch in the New Testament. The Enochic version of events often mention angels, specifically by the name, particularly Sataniel, Aziel. There's a movie, I think, that's named Aziel that's on Shudder that I haven't seen, but it's on my list. And the archangels Michael and Lucifer, the latter of whom was once one of God's favorite angels. However, Lucifer, along with some other fallen angels, eventually rebelled against God, waging a war in heaven against God's loyal angels, led by Michael. In the end, the rebel angels were defeated and cast out of heaven. Some made their new home in hell, while others were imprisoned. Revelation 12:9 speaks of the infamous fall, stating the great dragon was hurled down, that ancient serpent called the devil, or Satan, who leads the whole world astray. He was hurled to earth and his angels with him. Rooster, how's it going? Lisa Boo goes, I'm more spiritual. I'm with you on that, Lisa Boo. And to be honest, I have never read the Bible because it wasn't anything, even as a kid, it wasn't I never felt drawn to it. Nothing wrong if you do. I'm open to all religions. It's just something that I just was never, I was never drawn to. It wasn't anything that, sparked my interest. So if you ask me anything about the Bible, I know nothing about it, to be honest with you. You ask me about spiritual things, I can probably answer it more. But Bible things I do not know. D-Nice is asking, would you rather have Bieber fever or demon fever? I think I would rather have demon fever to be honest. It is perhaps partially due to this passage that there is some confusion today surrounding Satan and Lucifer, with many believing that those are 2 names of the same being. Some religious scholars disagree with the theory, though insisting that Satan and the devil are indeed one being, but that Lucifer was a separate entity entirely. Some authors have also claimed that Satan was never an angel at all and simply the source of all evil. Other Bible verses reference fallen angels who paid a hefty price for their unsuccessful rebellion against God in heaven, such as Jude 1:6, which states, and the angels who did not keep their positions of authority but abandoned their proper dwelling, these he has kept in darkness, bound with everlasting chains for judgment on the great day. Matthew goes, Azazel. Thank you, Matthew. I know I butcher some of these names. D Nice goes, the Bible is a horror story in itself. Speaking as a raised Catholic, I was baptized Catholic, but I never, I even went to church with my grandmother, and it wasn't anything, I never felt drawn to it. It never hit with me. I just never connected with it. I even went to Christian church with my friends, never connected to me. I was always more interested in like Native American beliefs, like with the folklore. I was always into, when I got older, I started reading about Buddhism because like with the sayings and stuff, I always liked that. Then got into paganism with found Wicca. So I got into that, was more drawn to it. I consider myself more of an eclectic pagan than anything because I grab from different things. Wicca doesn't believe that there's a devil, but I always did. I mean, I always felt like there is some sort of like evil, like demon, maybe demon more than devil, but they don't believe that there's like a hell. And I always felt that there was a hell, but then people living on earth could be going through hell as well, like, going through a bad time, going through drug addiction. So I've always like grabbed from different things. Wendy goes, I'm eclectic when it comes to spirituality. Wendy goes, raised Catholic until the parentals went to marriage counseling and became a born-again Baptist, baptized Catholic. Matthew goes, that was a Marvel mutant character too. He looks like the devil. He was in Deadpool and Wolverine and X-Men First Class. The latter half of this passage also refers to Judgment Day, or the Day of Reckoning, which is mentioned in numerous canonical Christian texts and is said to be closely connected to the second coming of Christ. When Jesus was descended from heaven and judged all people, both living and dead, some religious leaders have also suggested that Judgment Day will be preceded by war between heaven and hell, though not all Christian sects believe this. Generally speaking, though, aside from some discussions about Satan and Lucifer, very few biblical demons are actually mentioned by name in the Bible, and in the instance where they are often interpreted as other names for Satan or the devil. And since demons in the Bible are evil spirits, not physical beings, it's often difficult to describe the exact appearance. However, later religious scholars and writers, particularly King James VI and I, assigned more specific classification to biblical demons, and the school of thought came to be known as demonology. The demons in the Bible versus the demons explored in demonology. Demonology has long been a controversial topic, especially among Christians. The group Catholic Answers, for example, quotes Albertus Magnus when commenting on the subject of demonology. It is taught by the demons, it teaches about the demons, and it leads to the demons. While the subject of biblical demons has long intimidated many people, some writers have become so fascinated by the topic that they felt compelled to categorize demons even before King James VI and I. The ancient Jewish apocalyptic religious textbook of Enoch, for example, claimed that demons were the disembodied spirits of the Nephilim, the offsprings of fallen angels and human women. The book of Enoch states, and now the giants who are produced from the spirits and flesh shall be called evil spirits upon the earth, and on the earth shall be their dwelling. Evil spirits have proceeded from their bodies because they are born from men, and from the holy watchers is their beginning and primal origin. They shall be evil spirits on earth, and evil spirits shall they be called. The Bible, too, makes some attempts at describing demons. Corinthians states, even Satan disguises himself as an angel of light, suggesting that demons could appear to humans as angels and deceive them. Meanwhile, the book of Revelations offers this terrifying apocalyptic vision, and I saw a beast rising out of the sea with 10 horns and 7 heads, and on its horns were 10 diadems, and on its heads were blasphemous names. Then I saw another beast that rose out of the earth. It had 2 horns like a lamb, and it spoke like a dragon. Revelation goes on to say that foul spirits or demonic spirits will emerge like frogs from the mouth of the beast, and the dragon, as well as a false prophet preparing for battle against God. While frightening stories like these could certainly discourage people from seeking out more information about biblical demons, and some people could indeed fear that demonology leads to the demons, demonology can also be understood as a theological study of Christian texts and other ancient texts associated with different Abrahamic religions. Furthermore, demonology could also be viewed as an attempt to distill that information into a more concise package so that believers can understand. With that out of the way, let's explore how King James VI and First, I don't know why it should say King James the First and Sixth, categorized demons more specifically and helped establish the field of demonology. The categorization of biblical demons according to demonology. King James the First and Sixth, who ruled over Scotland and then later England and Scotland, published a dissertation, Demonology, in 1597. Years before his famous version of the Bible, James' interest in demonology came about after the North Berwick witch trials in 1590, and as such, his text pulls from the Bible the confessions of alleged witches and past cases from history. In compiling these various sources, King James aimed to essentially prove the existence of witchcraft and the dark arts through a Christian lens. Split into 3 books, Demonology focuses on not only witchcraft, but also topics like magic, curses, necromancy, charms, sorcery, and spirits. And as the title implies, demonology also includes a categorization of demons. Generally, this includes 4 specific categories: spectra, spirits that cling to specific locations; obsession, spirits like succubi or incubi that appear at certain times of the day; possession, spirits that inhabit another living person's body; and fairies, illusionary spirits that consort with and transport the people they serve, perhaps a witch. I never believed in fairies. I know there's people that believe in fairies, but I'm not one of them. Though King James the First and Sixth is often credited with establishing the general field of demonology, he certainly wasn't the only person who tried to categorize biblical demons around this time period. German theologian Peter Binsfeld identified 7 specific demons that came to be known as the princes of hell, which aligned with the 7 deadly sins: Lucifer, pride. I don't want to. Oh my God. If I say it in Spanish, it means something. It's spelled Mammon. Mammon. In Spanish, if you say it a certain way, it's Asmodeus, lust. The other one was greed, Leviathan, envy, Beelzebub, gluttony, Satan, wrath, and Belphegor, sloth. And German polymath Heinrich Cornelius Agrippa drafted one of the most complete compilation of demons, but it wasn't without problems. Windy goes darkness brings enlightenment. Very true. I agree, Lisa Boo. If people learned about the light, they should learn about the dark. It's true. And I agree with you. Demonology is fascinating. I wish there were more classes on it, to be honest, like a college class on demonology. Oh my God, I would take it in a heartbeat. Heinrich, even if it's like something like this, like a history or something. Heinrich Cornelius Agrippa's classification of demons and the issues with it. According to Heinrich Cornelius Agrippa, oh my God, that is a name, a tongue twister name if you had to say that 20 gazillion times. Hell has a hierarchy that's similar to the hierarchy of heaven, with demons assigned to specific roles. While his classifications don't name every demon, he does give names to many key demons, some of which are mentioned in the Bible. These include Beelzebub, often referred to as the Lord of the Flies; Python, who oversees the spirits of lying; Belial, the instrument of iniquity; and Wrath, Asmodeus, who lords over the revengers of wickedness; Satan, the imitator of miracles; Miriam, who observes the aerial powers, Abaddon, the sower of mischief, Astaroth, the collimator or the collimator, and Mammon, the tempter, and ensnarer. Agrippa also describes Lucifer as the prince of rebellion and refers to other Abrahamic figures such as Behemoth and Leviathan. There are several issues, however, in comparing Agrippa's categorization to true biblical demons. For instance, Beelzebub is a name derived from a Philistine god once worshipped in Ekron, and some other demons in his works are also taken from pagan religions like Pazuzu. The demon famously portrayed in the movie The Exorcist is another example of this. Agrippa's attempt at categorizing demons and subsequent attempts by like-minded individuals is likely part of the reason why the subjects of biblical demons and demonology are so obfuscated in modern times. As many people attempted to blend historical religions with the occult under a Christian framework, the larger definition of biblical demon continued to balloon until much of the original context was lost. As a result, many things considered demonic today, including some beliefs, rituals, and other themes that were featured or feared during the period of satanic panic, were never originally associated with the devil in Christianity. Still, the history of how this modern understanding came to be is not nonetheless complex and fascinating, illustrating truly how all-encompassing Christianity eventually became in the Western world. Emily Parkinson's goes, I know most of the names from Supernatural. After 15 seasons, I think they had them all. Tirana, I did not want to say that name. If you guys know Spanish, you know what that means. Wendy goes, I was taught about Beelzebub in Christian sleepaway camp in main camp Cherith. And then also, too, they mentioned Beelzebub in movies as well. But I didn't realize they had so many names for different demons. One of them needs to be renamed. And I do know, I mean, there's some people that believe the Bible to the T. D Nice goes, yeah, not sorry, Filipinos are not. Yes, because there's a Filipino dessert named Mamon. Yes, there is. D Nice, I forgot. I've seen it too, and I've seen it, and I was like, what? Also, too, Matthew's saying if anyone has a Google or Android TV, they have Ghost Hunters in their live tab. D-Nice, go scroll up, Lisa. Did I miss something? Oh, yeah. D-Nice goes, Mamon in the Philippines is a sponge cake. Puto is a rice cake. Yes, exactly. Oh, Wendy doesn't know? I can't say it because YouTube is going to shut me down if I say what a Mamon is. It's what Filipino. It's a like a what? A sponge cake. But I can't see the Spanish part of it. I can't. YouTube will shut me down. It's a sexual act, okay? I'll say it that much. That's as much as I can say, Wendy. That's why I'm surprised there's a demon named that. I was like, what? I'm not going to say which act. You could probably figure that one out or look it up. But that's why I was stumbling over it. I was like, what? There's a demon named what? Daniel always comes in at the most opportune moments. What's up, Daniel? A little Conjuring House update. Jacqueline Nunez actually went on and actually had an interview, believe it or not. So if you guys want to catch out that interview, I got to watch it. But I'm gonna share this article first because as we know, the business license for the Conjuring House was not renewed. That license allowed the owner, Jacqueline Nunez, to run, it was an entertainment license to run that house as a business, like it had been doing. I believe she's still doing it, regardless of her having a license or not. I feel like this woman Matthew saw it already. I mean, if you guys are following Jason Hawes, he did talk about it. I didn't see his stream. I didn't get a chance. But I did know, Matthew, you mentioned it, so I looked it up. So, let me make sure you guys can see what I'm talking about. Wood, Conjuring House owner, uncooperative and aggressive as business continues to operate. Burville, the owner of the Round Top Road property known as the Conjuring House, has said she plans to continue offering guest tours and overnight stays despite losing her license to operate in town. Town manager Michael Wood described the situation this week as complicated. This week, saying that if necessary, the town will enforce violations against the business through the court system. Wood's statement this week is the latest in what has been nearly a year of drama surrounding the 300-year-old farmhouse that inspired the 2013 hit horror film The Conjuring. Jacqueline Nunez, a real estate developer from Massachusetts, bought the property in 2022, I believe, for what, $1.5 million? With plans to expand a business offering tours, investigations, and overnight stays at the homes established by the previous owners. But the past year has brought troubles for Nunez, including a number of well-publicized clashes with her staff, mass resignations, and arrests, a lapse in workers' compensation insurance, and more. And when her license to do business in town came up for renewal last month, Nunez submitted a bizarre 7-page essay instead of the required paperwork, leading to denial by the town council. The business's most recent entertainment license officially expired on Saturday, November 30th. But the owner has reportedly remained defiant, telling potential customers she is working to set up a new booking site and continuing to run tours through December. I would not book a tour. You are probably not going to get your money back if you don't get to go on your tour. In a statement, Wood noticed Nunez has not provided information or follow-up with the town since the denial and pointed out that activities at the site can be disrupted for neighbors. The Conjuring House is a unique business operating a business that is effectively open 24 hours in a residential neighborhood. Wood said, "We understand that property owners have the right to use their property and the town respects these rights. However, if the Conjuring House continues to operate without the appropriate license, the town, on behalf of the neighbors, will enforce the violations through the court system." Wood said town officials are currently monitoring activities at the property. The owner has been difficult, uncooperative, and aggressive throughout the licensing process, he said. The town is always willing to work with applicants for various licenses, but in this case, the relationship has deteriorated such that the town is taking steps to protect its interests as well as those and the neighbors in the vicinity of the Conjuring House. Wood said, "We ask for patience as we attempt to address the complicated situation." So, she is apparently, according to this article, she is still taking tours and all that, but I would not do it because there's no guarantee that you would get your tour, or there's no guarantee that you will get your money back if you book this tour. I would not give her money at all. She is just, yeah. And I guess neighbors are probably complaining. I don't know. I haven't heard about that, but it kind of implied in that article, like, because it's a 24-hour business, type of thing, that it's disruptive, but Matthew goes 2 tacos short of a combination plate. There's also an interview. I was able to watch it. She basically says she hasn't done anything wrong. She also mentioned that the paranormal community has slandered her name and all that kind of stuff. They did talk about they mentioned Jason Hawes from an interview in November, and he had said she's still trying to contact them and they have a no contact order on them or on her. She's sitting there talking like everything is okay. I did not do anything wrong. She's saying that Brian Denzeru was paid. I don't know how true that is, because I don't know. Would you believe what she's saying? She did admit, she even said in this interview too that, yes, John Arnold talked to me. So and she has her cat with her in this interview. I don't know. I mean, if you don't think something's wrong, like I said in previous streams, if you don't think something's wrong with you, then you can't get help. You know what I mean? Lisa Boo, I agree. I was like, I couldn't, I was like, what? She did an interview? Oh, hell, I gotta watch it. Because I didn't think she was gonna do one. Because I still feel like she feels like she's above the law, like she's entitled. Bernadette's poor cat. It's a cool cat. If you guys have checked, if you saw the interview, I mean, I kind of have it in the background here. I'm not gonna play it because YouTube's probably gonna strike me down, so you guys can kind of see it. There in this article, but I mean, she bought the house in 2022. There's her cat, if you guys could see it. She does admit, like I said, she did admit to John Arnold talking to her. She does believe the place is haunted. I don't know if I would admit that, but she did. Lisa Bugo, she is delusional. I think so. I think, I mean, I believe in medians. I believe that there's people that can feel things, that it can see things that we can't see. Or can communicate with the dead. I do believe that. It's kind of hard nowadays to believe that, though, because there's a lot of fraudulent things going on. So I'm second guessing me, but I do believe that there's people that have a gift. Her, on the other hand, I don't think has the gift. But yeah, she's saying that Jason Hawes has fueled an online frenzy that has affected her business, but it's not just Jason Hawes, it's other paranormal YouTubers as well that are trying to not get people to not go there and put their money in there, because they feel like, I don't know if I would ever go to that place with her being there, because I wouldn't feel safe. Joanne, how's it going? Lisa Boo goes, I believe it too, but her, nope. Daniel goes, it's very hard to help someone out who won't help themselves. They have to want help first. Very true. Oh, sorry. I thought I was showing the article. Thank you, Dusty. I do that sometimes. There it is. Sorry, guys. I thought I was sharing it. I do that sometimes. I'm sorry, guys. Doy. Joanne goes, her gift is probably not what she thinks it is. All right, there it is. You can kind of see it. You'll see her cat pop up. That is what Jacqueline Nunez looks like. If anyone does not know who she looks like, that is what she looks like. She says she has a gift, allegedly. I don't think she does. I think a lot of you don't. Like I was saying earlier, she's saying Jason Hawes has fueled, the internet against her, and it's affected the business. But it's not just Jason Hawes, like I was saying. It's other paranormal. I've seen other paranormal channels talk about this, and saying also to boycott the business. And I don't blame them, because if someone's like that, oh, there's her cat. If you guys saw it, Bernadette was like, poor cat. I mean, she acts pretty professional right there. So I was like, okay, are you just putting a show here? Like she looks like she has a good head on her shoulders. Like even in this interview when she's talking, like she's very calm, very like a good head on her shoulders, educated woman. But the stuff I've seen her do, it tells us otherwise. She's also said, I said it earlier, she said that they settled with the Denzuru case. I don't know how true that is. That's what she says. I don't know. I haven't heard anything from Brian or any updates from that I haven't heard personally. I don't know if anybody had seen anything, but she's saying that he was taken care of. And he's like, and she was like, I don't know why he's still complaining or something like that. Oh, what he's yelling about. That's what she said. And she still thinks he stole the money. And she says she has receipts. And then it's also talking about the A attempt that she accused Jason Hawes of doing, which is absurd. Matthew goes, Dr. Evil, come with me, Mr. Bigglesworth. And that's Jason Hawes. They interviewed him in November. She's saying that she might have talked differently. Like used a different tone. Like she wouldn't have been like angry or something like that when she was talking to people. I was like, dude, you were talking gibberish on your Facebook page. How much money did he steal? I forgot. I don't remember the top. I don't remember at the top of my head. Give me a second, guys. 3,000 in cash. And Brian had said, like, from the gift shop, Brian has said that gift shop is fully like surveillanced, like both audio and video. And 90% of the transactions that go through the Conjuring House were like credit cards. They rarely do cash. So he was like, that's kind of hard to do when we rarely had any cash in they basically in the cash box or the register, they had very minimal money in it, which most businesses start off with a minimal amount. And then if they do get a lot, they'll drop it, right? So to prevent theft or in case theft would happen. But that's what he's saying. And like, I kind of believe it because nowadays, not a lot of people carry cash. I know there's some people that do, but not a lot of people do carry cash. We do a lot of digital payments now. I notice like Apple Pay. In fact, I do it with my Samsung. I do it when I get gas and all that kind of stuff because I can pay with my watch. Or we pay with credit card. or you pay through an online link, whatever it may be. So it's like rare that people do pay with cash nowadays. Joanne goes, "Oh, get over it, then forget about it and move on." And then so Brian sued her because he had a well-to-do job and he quit that job to take on the general manager position job, and she didn't pay him. So and then Jason was pulled into this because she was like a attempt and all this. So it's just crazy. So it goes, "I haven't done anything. Owner of the Conjuring House speaks out against criticism." Jacqueline Nunez says for decades she's been actively involved in the spiritual world, interacting with energy and channeling messages between the living and the dead. I think she mentioned that too in the interview. Like she goes, "I've always been connected with it." The experience led the Boston attorney in 2022 to purchase the old Arnold estate in Burrville, a historic home made famous by the supernatural horror movie The Conjuring. She since formed a business for people to come visit, stay, ghost hunt, and try to communicate with spirits. "When I saw it was available, I knew instantly I was going to own it," Nunez told Target 12 during an exclusive interview last week at her Boston home. Nunez said she was also trying to buy Lizzie Borden's Maplecroft mansion in Fall River around the same time. Thank goodness she didn't. I don't know. She didn't. Business was going great, she said, but things started to unravel in July when she fired her manager, saying the spirit of John Arnold, who owned the home in the 1800s, told her the employee was stealing. "I did get a message from John Arnold from the 1800s who said, I also have records of merchandise and stuff and know that he stole." The story drew attention, scrutiny, and criticism from people across the world, fueling an online frenzy that Nunez said has since made her a target of hate, slander, retaliation, and government oppression, which has damaged her reputation in business. The criticism became amplified after she engaged in multiple disputes with former employees, a TV star, and town officials. "My reputation and my business have been destroyed, temporarily destroyed," she said. Nunez is now speaking out against the criticism, saying she's hopeful that by sharing her story, she could give people a different perspective on her and what's happened. She lost her business and entertainment license this month after Burrville town official voted not to renew it, citing concerns over safety and her actions. "People deserve an opportunity to come to a site like ours where they can really experience this kind of energy," she said. But Nunez was also quick to downplay any accountability of her own actions over the past 5 months, including getting arrested for drunk driving in October and being accused of threatening and harassing former employees and family of Jason Hawes, star of the hit sci-fi series Ghost Hunters. "I haven't done anything," she says. "I've just been running my business." I don't think so, girl. Hawes, who lives in Rhode Island, disagrees, and he filed a police report this fall alleging she accused him of trying to aid her. Hawes received a no-contact order against Nunez, saying she also sent threatening text messages and emails to him and his family. She's still been sending me messages, even though we've gotten that no-contact order and no trespass order, Hawes said last month, outside Burrville Town Hall. She violated it, and she just continues to violate it. Nunez acknowledged that she could have had a slightly different tone with some of her texts and emails, but she accused Hawes of fueling hate toward her. She's now threatening to file lawsuits against him, former employees, and Burrville. She said the town is guilty of governmental oppression. As the lawsuits come out, all of the evidence will come out about how they have just blatantly violated my constitutional protections, Nunez said. What about you going on rants on the Facebook page, on the Conjuring Facebook page, to the point where Facebook shut your page down? Burrville town manager Michael Wood has pushed back, saying Nunez runs a 24-hour business in a residential neighborhood, which we had spoke about in the previous article. The business, he said, can be disrupted to neighbors, and it draws curious people at all hours of the day and night. I didn't know that was happening because I've never seen that mentioned before. He also accused Nunez of being difficult, uncooperative, and aggressive throughout the licensing process. The town is always willing to work with applicants for various licenses, but in this case, the relationship has deteriorated such that the town is taking steps to protect its interests as well as those of the neighbors in the vicinity of the Conjuring House, Wood said in a statement, which I had read in the previous article. Nunez says she feels like the town is singling out and discriminating against her business because it's tied to the paranormal community, comparing the move to the violation of freedom of expression and freedom of assembly. They can't not allow a business because they don't like that it's paranormal, she said. It has nothing to do with that, girl. That would be like me saying I don't drink, therefore I don't want there to be any liquor stores. Despite her license expiring at the end of November, Nunez says she has no intentions of shutting down operations this month because people have already booked tours and some are traveling from out of country. She's unwilling to cancel on them, she said. That is just cruel and retaliatory, Nunez said. Well, what about you not giving people their money back? You are like two different people here. Like, you're trying to act like Miss Innocent when there's things you've done too. Like, you're not looking at yourself and seeing what you've done. Moving forward, Nunez said she wants to work toward getting her license back so she can resume operations and people can continue to visit the home, which she describes as a very special place. This is about a very paranormal active place, she said. I have so much evidence that really proves this stuff is true. I have so much evidence. People deserve to access it, right? If she can't get her license back, Nunez says she has no intentions of selling the home, which I never thought she would. She doesn't seem like she would. There are people that want me to sell. I'm never selling, she says. If I don't run a business, I'll still have a great house. So hopefully, I get why they don't want, I don't know what was in, she obviously didn't fill out the business license paperwork correctly. Because it mentions that she wrote like some 7-page thing or something for it. So I don't blame them for not giving her her license. Plus, probably they know of all the stuff that's going on with her as well. So for them to approve it could put people in danger too as well, but she's acting like two different people. Like, what the hell? Joanne goes, she has lost more than money at this point. True. Bernadette goes, I use my phone to pay cards and trade goats. Lisa Boo goes, different perspective, all right? Like, out of this world. Wendy goes, most people consider Massachusetts as Boston proper. Bernadette goes, what she trying to say to people is, who are you going to believe, me or your own eyes? True. Like, she's going on like I did nothing wrong. They're making they're saying bad things about me. But I'm like, look at your actions. Like, what are people supposed to believe? Like, you're acting like I said, I read her background. I totally feel like she is a well-to-do woman that can take care of herself type of thing. Educated, has a good head on her shoulder, but she's acting like that. Like, what is going on? You know what I mean? There's some people that think the house is affecting her. I know Jason Hawes doesn't think that's the case. Or like it's a possession thing. I know Jason Hawes has mentioned like, no, it's not a possession. I've seen plenty of possessions, and I don't think it's a possession thing. There's one of the former groundskeeper, I think, had said that he believes that the house is affecting her because it affected him. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. I don't know. I've never been there, so I can't really say if it's haunted or not. I don't think it's haunted, but like I said, you can't really say something is haunted unless you've actually been there and experienced it. So I don't think it is. Like, I'm very skeptical to think it is. I think it's overhyped. It'd be a cool place to go visit, but not under her. I wouldn't feel comfortable going into a place where she was near. I'm surprised that it's still open. Like, she has people working for her, but Daniel goes, it's a brain thing. That's what I'm thinking. And then, like Daniel, what you said earlier, you can't help anyone unless they want the help themselves. And she's basically acting like she's innocent. Wendy goes, it's her bad twin. I mean, she goes, well, I shouldn't have said things like I did. Maybe I would have done it that way. But still, like it's you're not realizing why people think you're the way you are. It's because of your actions. It's what you put on your Facebook page, to the point where it was shut down by Facebook. You know what I mean? It's your actions toward Jason Hawes, and he's sharing the texts and showing like you're the way you're acting. Like, come on. Like, why would anybody want to go there? I would not want to be in the same room with her. I wouldn't feel safe. I wouldn't want to work for her. She could say a ghost said I scratched her car when I didn't. You know what I mean? Like, no. Like I said, I do believe in psychic mediums and people that have the gift, but I think she's far from it. Wendy goes, yes, I totally agree. Actions speak the loudest. Exactly. So, I mean, honestly, I'd be like, you know what? I acted stupid. Like, I got lost in the moment. It happens to the best of us. I was stressed out, stuff like that. I would have been cool with it. You know what I mean? Then that's all you have to do is admit that this happened, but she won't. Hug, how's it going? Dusty goes, if she's so educated and experienced businesswoman, why can't she fill out a form? Exactly. Exactly. She had to give him like a 7-page thing. I don't even know. I would have loved to read. I would have loved to know what was on that. But it's crazy. That's okay. Hug, as long as you made it in. It happens. So I thought my next article was kind of crazy. I'm pretty sure any of us would probably have done the same. We probably would have been like, oh my God, is that a ghost? But Chinese man trapped in well for 3 days as villagers mistake his cries for ghost sounds. It wasn't until police dispatched rescue personnel to the forest that they had heard a voice responding to their calls. In a bizarre incident near the Thailand-Myanmar border, a Chinese man was trapped in an abandoned well for 3 days. Villagers had heard strange cries coming from a nearby forest, but mistook them for ghostly sounds, according to a Thai media report. It wasn't until police dispatched rescue personnel to the forest that they heard a voice responding to their calls. The crew located the source of the voice and found 22-year-old Liu Shanyi at the bottom of a 12-meter deep well, Independent reported. The rescue operation lasted 30 minutes. Mr. Shanyi was found in a weakened state and had sustained serious injuries, including a fractured wrist, cerebral concussion, and bruises after being trapped without food or water for 3 days and nights. He was rescued and taken to the hospital for medical attention. According to Mr. Chu Yi, or Chan Yi, he strategically shouted for help once every hour, conserving his energy during his 3-day ordeal. Meanwhile, nearby villagers reported hearing strange cries, which they attributed to paranormal activity. As a result, they avoided venturing outside after dark and didn't investigate the noise further. Authorities believe that Mr. Liu, Asian cultures, they are more in tune with the spiritual world than we are. I mean, if we heard a cry, we would probably go out and look. If they heard a cry, they probably think it's, I don't know what, for various reasons, but I would think they would think it's like a bad omen or like an evil spirit trying to trick them type of thing. So I understand why they didn't go out after dark. We would probably be like, oh, what is that? Like our curiosity would pique our interest, so we would definitely go check. But I kind of understand why they didn't, because they were like, no. Authorities believe that Mr. Liu accidentally fell into the well while attempting to navigate his way out of the forest. The circumstances surrounding Mr. Liu's presence at the Thailand-Myanmar border remains a mystery, and authorities have reached out to the immigration department to investigate how he ended up in the area. In the meantime, local authorities are taking proactive measures to prevent similar incidents by sealing the well with a cover, ensuring the area is safer for everyone. The incident has sparked widespread attention on Chinese social media, with many users sharing and discussing the harrowing story. One user wrote, a Chinese man shouting for help in the middle of nowhere. Of course, the locals can't understand the language and might think it was a wizard uttering spells. Another commented, kudos to his strength and stamina, struggling for 3 days and nights, but still yelling. This guy is truly impressive. So that is crazy. Oh yeah, I didn't think of that too. If he's at the Thailand border, they probably don't understand what he's saying too. So they're thinking he's like yeah, it makes sense. Matthew goes, dang, also reminding me of Timmy Bart Simpson prank he fell into. Matthew goes, yet China mostly won't allow movies about ghosts in theaters from outside of China. That I don't know. I know I don't know. But then China too is communist. So that could be part of it. I don't know if it is or not. I do know, like, I like Asian horror movies, but they're all, I mean, if you guys don't like ghost stories with spirits and stuff like that, you probably won't like Asian horror, but I do. Because I know communist countries, they like to control what comes in. I don't know if China's like that. I know North Korea is like that for sure. North Korea is like that. You can't have the same haircut as Kim Jong-un. And you can only choose from like 3 haircuts to get. You don't have, like, I think they barely got the internet recently, if I'm not mistaken. The stuff on TV is all propaganda stuff. I don't know about China. I think China's a bit different. Matthew goes, there was a thing that I read why they didn't allow Ghostbusters 2016 release there. Wendy goes, the Ring. Oh my God, nightmares with their hair. Oh my God, yes. The funny thing is, I haven't seen the Japanese Ring. I saw like a YouTube video talking about it, and I go, you know what? I don't think I've seen that one. I've seen The Grudge, the Japanese Ju-on. Oh my God, one of my favorites. But I don't know, like I said, I don't know how that, if it's like that in China. I don't think it's, I feel like North Korea is more isolated than China. Because they don't let you come out of that country. I mean, China, you can come out of the country, so I don't think it's as strict as North Korea. But thanks, Gunner Girl. Dusty goes, they keep their people so poor they don't know the difference. Exactly. I know North Korea, a lot of them are struggling. I know more about North Korea because I'm half Korean, so I know I kind of follow it more. But I know if you have family in North Korea, you will never see them. And there's a lot of people that do have family, that are in South Korea and have family in North Korea that they have never seen because they can't cross the border. It's sad. It's sad to think that. And then, of course, I don't think they know any different because a lot of those people grew up in that, so they don't know any different. Like, there's no TV, like, they can't watch Beetlejuice, you know what I mean? The only thing they can watch is what the government tells them to watch. Like, the propaganda films, it's sad. I know there's some of them escaped from there because they don't, like I said, they don't let you leave. And I've seen Americans go there, and I'm like, no, I would never go there. Hug goes, my nephew was adopted from South Korea at 6 months old. Oh, that's so cool. Kyle goes, in China, they still have Western movies. It's the censored or have subtitle dubbing to suit their cultural views. Kyle, what is up? But I mean, I'm grateful that we're able to be able to, have our cell phones and be able to, surf the internet because there's some places where you can't even do that. Like the things that I mean, people would die to do, they probably don't even know they could do that because that's what they're used to. It's, I mean, if they ever got a taste of what our choices are, then they would definitely not stay where they're at. Bernadette goes, can't the North pew you if you step over? They could. They could, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, there's people that have escaped, but if they ever found out that you escaped, I'm sure it means bad juju for them. Hug goes, and my niece was adopted from China at 1 year old. My sister, brother-in-law, and nephew had to live in China for 3 months to get her. Wow, that's still cool though, Hugs. Taramana goes, The Grudge was a good spooky movie. They both are. The Ring is good and The Grudge is good. I liked them both. But I have not seen the Japanese version of The Ring, and I bet you it's probably freakier. Matthew goes, Disney China edits and changes Disney posters. Disney here doesn't, like Sony and Universal. Other regions out of the US do that too. Yeah, it goes, I Googled what Bernadette asked. It says, yes, if you cross the border from South Korea to North Korea, there is a very high likelihood that you could be pew-pewed by North Korean border guards, as the border is heavily guarded and crossing it without authorization is considered a serious transgression, potentially leading to immediate lethal force. So, yes. Bernadette goes, they changed the movie Demolition Man from Taco Bell to Pizza Hut for China. Yes, they do that, as Matthew was saying. Hug goes, yeah, when my sister was 16, she watched a PBS documentary on what happens to baby girls in China. That day, she swore she would adopt a baby girl. I don't think they do that anymore because I remember that families were only allowed to have one child. I think they lifted it. I don't think it's like that anymore. And because the male is what carries on the family name. A lot of girls were placed up for adoption. So because we as women don't carry the family name when we get married. So so I don't think they do that anymore in China though. I think they lifted it. The last time I checked, but I could be mistaken. But I do know what you're talking about, Hug, because I've seen those documentaries too. Kyle goes, the things you cannot do in North Korea is larger than any other country in the world. Exactly. I agree. North Korea is like super strict. Like they're super controlling. Very true, Kyle. All right, guys, I'm going to open it up for questions, and I will give you a few more minutes to look for Skeleduck. He is in my background somewhere. It's kind of hard to hide him in this one. Hug goes, my niece was adopted 17 years ago. That is super cool, though. That is. Wendy goes, what about the deal with the P? What P? What are you talking about, Wendy? Heather, whatever. Thank you for that super sticker of super fitness pair flying to fight crime for the American way. Hearts for Heather, whatever. Thank you, Heather, whatever. Appreciate that. Hug goes, how was your weekend? How has your weekend been, Lisa? Do anything fun other than this? I haven't done anything because I worked today. So no, I haven't done anything. And then yesterday I was so tired after work. Yes, today was a little easier today. I had a lot of volunteers today, but yesterday, oh my God. I had a lot of work I had to do yesterday. But no, I haven't done anything fun lately. Like I'm behind on all. I have a big list of movies I want to watch. Bernadette goes, any updates with the fur babies there? They're all good. A dog got adopted today. It's been kind of slow. The center I'm at is kind of slow. It's slower than the other centers. There's 4. They have 4 of them. I think it's because the center I work out's kind of in a weird location, so not a lot of people know that we're there. But I did. We've adopted 2 cats and a dog so far this month. Carol goes to today was better than Thursday. Yes. Thursday wasn't a bad day. It was like Friday I was busy. But I have a lot of programs I need to catch up with. I saw on Netflix, because lately I've been watching, like I've been saying, I've been watching true crime docs. I got to the Zodiac. I guess there was a Zodiac in up north. I always thought the Zodiac Killer was in New York. But I guess not. The Zodiac Killer was in San Francisco. For some odd reason, I always thought he was in New York. So I did get to see a documentary about the Zodiac. I go, was it the Zodiac Killer in New York? But no, it's San Francisco. Carol goes, I'm just going to wait and see what the test results say for what's next for me, waiting on the scheduling for them now. Hopefully, Carol, it's not what you think it is. But my positive vibes are going your way, Carol. Julie N, what is up? Heather, whatever goes, Zodiac was Northern California, and so were the Zuber Killer. Yeah, I swear to God, I always thought the Zodiac was in New York. Don't ask me why. I don't know why. I was like, duh. Bernadette goes, there's a movie I'm trying to get called The Cursed Necklace. Looks interesting on Prime. The Cursed Necklace. It sounds something, there's similar to that. There was something similar to that on Shudder. There was. I don't know if that's the same movie I'm thinking of. Guys, let's send some positive vibes and prayers for Carol. Oh, Bernadette, that might be it. I think maybe you were thinking of the summer, yeah, maybe that's who I'm thinking of. Son of Sam. That's who I'm thinking of, probably. David Berkowitz. I got them mixed up. You're right, Bernadette. That's probably who I'm thinking of. Carol goes, I'm also hoping it's not what the doctors think it is. Heather, whatever goes, New York had Son of Sam and others, Richard Speck. That's what I thought, Wendy. I swear to God, I thought the Zodiac. I'm confusing the Son of Sam. There you go. With the Zodiac Killer. Son of Sam. Summer of 1977? No, different time, because the Zodiac started like in the 60s. Like late 60s. And Son of Sam was late 70s. Emily Parkinson's goes, Richard Speck was Chicago. That sounds so good, Hugs. Hugs getting Hugs is getting creative with Pillsbury crescent rolls. They are Hawaiian sweet dough. I'm making cheese danishes out of them. That sounds good. Some plum and some cinnamon ones. That sounds so cool. Good. Hug. All right, guys. Skeleduck. I gave you enough time. Skeleduck is sticking out. You see where it says Sweet Nightmares right there? I guess they call that the lower thirds. But you see the Sweet Nightmare banner? At the end of it, right where my finger's pointing, is where Skeleduck is. You can see his beak peeking out, and you can kind of, if you look under, you can kind of see his body. So that is where Skeleduck is. Right there. right where my finger's pointed. Emily is like, I found him this time. Matthew's like, I didn't even try looking. All right, guys. Daniel's like, lame. All right, guys. Any last minute questions before I end this stream? Thank you, Lisa Boo. All right, guys. Without further ado, if there's no further questions, I am going to end the stream here. Guys, thank you for joining me on this edition of Grayson Report. I will see you on the next one, which will be Monday, the 9th, I believe, December 9th, at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Be there, be squared, stay spooky, guys, sweet nightmares, and have a great rest of your weekend, and I will see you on the next one. Good night, guys, and thank you. You guys are awesome.